Hello, Heather the Painter here again. We are working on our quick clone painting by the image from Lonnie Hoke. You can see once we hit Command or Control T or go to our clone source palette and toggle our tracing paper, we can take a look at our source file, and then when we look at our layers or our canvas, we can see what we're actually painting. You'll notice when we go up to our file menu, we have either the option to do quick clone or clone. And I've always done quick clone because it automatically applies a set of presets or rules that you set up in your preferences to your clone source. Versus if we just did a file clone, and I can show you here, file clone, we make an exact duplicate copy, filling our canvas full with the image. Now I don't prefer to handle it this way because when I'm painting, I want to make sure every pixel is covered, and it's very difficult to be able to see if you've covered pixels or not when you start painting in this mode because there's nothing to toggle from. You can't see over your canvas if it's clear or not. Now the other option is to actually start adding layers when you're painting. The only problem is when you're adding layers, you are essentially slowing down your computer or slowing down Painter, and you're increasing your file sizes. So I found if you just start out with file quick clone, your computer's happier and you can just have the freedom and the ability to move quickly and paint and create. So we're going to close that one. That's not going to be my file. And I am looking for my painting. There we go. Command or Control M for mounting. Making sure your tracing paper is at 0. Now if we wanted to save this, and I would highly recommend saving in many stages, we go up to File, Save As, and I'm going to look up the original file this was, and I believe it was Hoke Pink Painting. In the front of it, this is what I found works really well for my workflow, is I'm going to tell myself what stage I'm on. So it's my first stage, and because I'm working in Painter, I'm going to put PTR. So when I go back in my archives, I can know this is my first stage, my second stage, my final stage. It kind of shows me the progression very easily. And then it also tells me the reference or the clone source file that I'm pulling my information from. Now the most important part here, when we get down to the file type, I would give you 2 suggestions. If you're going to save in a Photoshop format, which means you can toggle back and forth between Adobe programs with this file, it's important to click uncompressed. If that's not clicked, sometimes you will get JPEG compression applied to your painting. So this allows us to toggle quickly back and forth between, Adobe Photoshop and Painter. The other format that you can save is the Painter Riff, which is Painter's native file. And again, I would click uncompressed just to be safe. What is really cool about this one is it automatically remembers your clone source setup from the day you close it to a year from now. It automatically links up to your source files and remembers those, so you don't have to reset them up each time. But you cannot open this up within Photoshop. So this is only to be used with Corel products. So I'll show you here. I'm going to save it as a Painter Riff, uncompressed. I'm going to go ahead and save. Now watch what happens when I close out my files and say, 2 months has passed by and I get to finishing this painting. I'm going to go to File, Open. I'm going to look up my painting, my 1PTR. Now if you look at my clone source, it automatically set up the original source file that I attached to it without me having to do anything. So this is one of the most powerful features with being able to save as a Riff. It remembers your workflow. You don't have to go in and reset it up. If that was not there, you would have to go to this bottom left icon and say Open Source Image, and then we'd have to go through all that fun stuff once again. But since it's already there, we're good to go, and we have the freedom to paint. I'm Heather the Painter. Please visit heatherthepainter.com for more tips and tutorials.